these tips of the day. Ryan, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's actually not raining today in Washington State, so always a good thing.
That is always a good thing when it's not raining, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. The weather actually didn't have to wear a raincoat today, so a nice 40 degrees.
Always got to make sure we're live. You got to do that. It's always, we know we're live, but we got to make sure we're live. Also got to make sure guys can hear us because I've actually had problems with that. It's been crazy. Sometimes you're live and then they can't hear you.
Right.
Let's see.
Somebody's in there.
There's the double feedback. I got my phone way up, but you know what? Here we go. It's picking up a caption, but I don't hear any. Hey, can you guys? Oh, wait, there it is. There's the double feedback. Yep, it can hear us. We're good to go. I just got to check. I had problem every time I reload my computer, my permissions on Google change. So, man, I got a frog in my throat. Well, let's talk about the Houston event. Obviously, out of the gate here. It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's 1 week away. It's an absolutely free event. Guys, come on out, register for the event. Registration links right below, or go to nationalcleaningexpo.com. Ryan and I are going to talk about sales. I got to keep this in mind, guys. Ryan is the home sales service side of the business. I'm a commercial sales guy. So I'm going to start off with a tip, and I'm going to give you guys this tip.
Yeah, love to hear it.
It came up here today. Where do I start when I'm going to go after commercial clients? Okay, hang on a second. I got to get something. It's a funny thing. It's a funny stuff.
Fair enough.
Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. I like your nice background.
Here it is, right here. The magic book. I should have had it out already. It was funny because my kids were looking at it because kids love to look at these things. They're like, "Man, Dad, you were born in the 1900s," And what this is in case some of you guys don't know, they used to make these. Maybe they do them all digital now, but this is a high school yearbook, guys. High school yearbook. And I always tell everybody that wants to get into the commercial world, what's the first step? Get that high school yearbook out. Start going through it. Don't look for all your old girlfriends because that's not who you want to contact unless they're major decision makers. But you get that book out and you go ahead and go through it. And obviously it's pretty simple, right? You write down people that knew you in high school, whether they're still affiliated with you now, they knew you in high school. So you cross-reference that to LinkedIn and you find out what they're doing, or find out if they know somebody that you want to meet and see if you can reconnect with them and, basically get an introduction or even reconnect with them. They may be big players in the industry and they might have budgets, millions of dollars, and wind up giving you lots of work. I always tell guys, it only takes one commercial client. One could change your entire life. One.
That's a good tip.
No, that was a good bid, Justin. Yeah, I always bring things nobody else brings, Ryan. Nobody else would have even, they don't even think of that, right?
Yeah, I'd have to even see if I've got my yearbook now. I don't
see, and
you might probably in my parents' basement somewhere.
You might even know contract cleaners because who knows, man? Maybe one of your old high school buddies winds up being a contract cleaner. There you go. You can sell a roof tech machine to him because hey, he knows you, he trusts you. Go ahead, give us a residential tip if you're the first thing you would tell a guy to do, like the very first.
For someone who's looking to get into residential cleaning, well, obviously this is going to be, I think the first thing you're going to do is obviously get your equipment, right? If this is, you're brand new to it, I think talking to other guys who are already in the industry, making those connections, kind of like you said, using kind of the same idea of rather than looking for connections of who you can sell to, I think also finding guys who you in the area who you can interact with. My biggest tip would be find someone who's doing it in your area, doing it well, and buy them lunch. Say, hey, can I take you out to lunch on your lunch break, or can I take you out to dinner, and just go pick their brain and figure out like, hey, what do I need to know first? And then once you can have your knowledge base, I think it's just the same with everybody, right? You got to start door knocking. I think for residential, I think you can send out flyers, you can do signs and stuff. I know there's lots of competition for signs, but I really don't think there's a whole lot that can beat just face to face, knocking on a door and show up professional. Obviously, wear at least a polo shirt. You may not have a company shirt yet, but don't show up wearing jeans with a bunch of holes in them. Be presentable and have a good personality when you're talking to them. And yeah, I think it's just making those connections and knock on 300 doors a day if you need to. You may get one sale, but that's how you got to start, right?
Yep, that's it. That's what you got to do. That is what you got to do, for certain, for certain. So we'll give another tip at the end of this thing, and we're probably going to give a couple gallons of chemicals away. Whether they're Roof Tech chemicals or not, I don't know, but we'll give a couple gallons of chemicals away. I've got about 900 gallons of chemicals. I don't know how I'm going to give them all away. You know, we got to do something. We got to do something. So the event next week, a lot of these guys know what's going on, but I guess what they don't understand is, like, we're going to be setting up the Roof Tech machine. You're going to be doing some technical training, kind of like go over a little bit of the verbal stuff that you talked to him about, you know, the science of cleaning and stuff like that. Let's give some basic knowledge that you got there, some technical stuff.
Yeah, so I think one thing to start with is it's important to remember, and you and I kind of talked about this, I think, a couple of days ago, about with the Roof Tech machine, right? What it actually is it's an exterior cleaning machine. It's not just a roof cleaning machine. It's not just something you get up on a roof and you spray bleach and you walk away. It can do it all. You can start with roofs, you can do siding, you can do wood, you can do concrete. It's all one pump. And so I'm going to have that machine there. We're going to be talking about the machine. I'll show everybody who's in my classes the ins and outs of it, how the pump works, how we can get away with running chemicals through the pump. But also, one of my favorite things to talk about is the chemistry of it. I work with a really good chemist, and I myself am absolutely not a chemist, but I've worked with a guy who is, I think, one of the leading brains in this industry for these things. And we're going to talk a lot about pH and how the pH affects your cleaning, what happens to bleach at lower pHs, and why it's important to have high pHs in your surfactants, and how that affects your cleaning. And bleach degrades in different ways as it gets lower and lower pH, and it becomes more unstable. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about surfactants. We're going to talk about just general cleaning, how to clean a roof, how to clean concrete, and a little bit of everything. Hopefully some for people who have been doing this for a while, and some info for guys who are new to it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so when you were doing the training at the Panhandle, what was it about you? Was there something that stuck out, like the amount of new people that needed the knowledge, or the people that didn't understand it, or some of the veterans that were trying to tell you how to clean? What?
No, it's funny because I wouldn't consider myself a veteran or new to this industry, right? I've been in this industry for 10, 12 years now, and I've done a lot of cleaning. I've done a lot of training. I've done a lot of teaching to guys who are new, to the guys who are old. But my concept had always been, well, I may have been doing this for 10 years, but I certainly don't know everything. And you're always going to have the mix of guys. There's going to be the old guys who have been doing this for longer than I've been alive, who are going to tell me everything I'm doing is wrong. And even with our pump, oh no, you can't pull bleach through that pump. It's going to kill the pump. But I think there's something for everyone to learn. And for me, I was pleasantly surprised with how receptive everybody was in the Panhandle event. I think there were a lot of new guys who asked a lot of good questions, and there were a lot of guys who have been doing it for a while who maybe asked some harder questions. And my philosophy is, if I don't know the answer, I could certainly find it for you. I know the people who do. So if someone has a really in-depth chemistry question, I've got the number of our chemist on speed dial, and I can call him, and I can guarantee he can talk to you forever about it.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
And so, I think in general, everyone who comes to these events seems to be really receptive, and whether they do things a different way or the same way, everyone, that's what's great about it, is it's sharing information, and can only get better by doing that.
That's the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
The power of sharing. People, I think they take that for granted. I think they also take for granted a lot of situations where they don't understand that if they can give back or mentor somebody else, they keep their skills sharp.
Yeah.
Every day you go out there and you talk about these tips. Now you haven't been washing for what, 2 or 3 years? I mean, how long have you been out of the wash business?
Really probably about 5 years. I got into our commercial cleaning side about 5 years ago, and I was doing a lot of service on our machines and all that. So it's been about 5 years since I was washing full time, but kind of related to the industry though since then.
Yeah. It's kind of like keeps you focused, right? Like, because when you help other people, you refresh the fundamentals, that, man, maybe you've forgotten. And sometimes as a business person, I think that people get distracted and they forget about what made them successful sometimes. And and we all do it, you know what I mean? Because it might be out of boredom, because you do something the same way all the time and you're successful and it works, and you want to make it better, but then you wind up not making it better. And then you forgot that, hey, when I was doing it this way, it was working. And sometimes you got to go back to that. Sometimes you got to go back to the fundamentals and rework the fundamentals. A lot of guys make that mistake. I see it all the time. They forget what really got them there, and when they get bigger, and then they lost the focus of what they're trying to do. I've seen it happen in 37 years. Oh man, 100 times.
Well, that too. I think it helps too. There's a lot of people I think who get into this who you want the quick answer, right? I want the best machine. I want to do it quick. But I think there's absolutely something to the fact of, hey, when you're starting out, you might only have $500. You might only have $200, but you can absolutely wash. You can go rent a machine. You can go buy the secondhand machine, and you can still do the work, and you can absolutely clean a driveway with 2 gallons a minute, a 2-gallon machine. It can happen. It's going to take a while, but I think that's also where, when you're in that beginning stage of learning, that's when you're going to learn the most. And that's when you get that 5, 6, 8 gallon a minute machine. That's when you really appreciate it. You're like, hey, I learned all these tips and efficiencies when the only way I could speed up was through being efficient. And that's when you apply those now, and you can really take off. And that was always my biggest thing, was I necessarily wasn't going to be the fastest at the job, but I would be absolutely the most efficient. I'm going to be the least amount of trips back and forth to the truck. I'm going to be the least amount of trips up and down the ladder. I'm going to bring all my equipment with me, do everything at once. So when I get to the end of the job, I might be able to move at the same speed as someone who's going twice as fast as me.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
That is a huge deal. I mean, I don't think people understand it. That's where the money's made.
Yeah.
They really don't understand. A lot of people just don't understand that their production rate is everything, man. I mean, it's everything. It's what makes you successful. I mean, and a lot of guys just don't get it. They really don't. They just don't get it. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's funny. There's nothing funny about it, but guys just, I see, this is the other one I see all the time. I'm going to build my business skills better. Okay. And that's great. Great to have great business skills. But if you can't be proficient and have a good production rate and be efficient, you got to be fast, you got to be safe, and you got to hold the quality. All those 3 things got to come together to make it work. And a lot of guys don't understand that, and they want to spend more time reading books in theory. I think guys get caught up in that, and they got, I want to be a businessman, when they really actually don't understand this. As a one-man washer, you're everybody. You're doing every position. You're doing the invoicing, likely. You're doing the sales. You're doing the marketing. You're doing the washing. You're doing the leadership role. I mean, I don't think they kind of understand that. And so many guys get so caught up in, well, I don't know how to keep my books. Hire somebody to keep your books. You know what I mean? Don't lose focus of what really makes money. Bookkeeping isn't going to make you money, but yeah, it's got to be straight. I mean, it's got to be tidy, and you got to know where you're at. But so many guys try to overwhelm themselves with these tasks. Hire somebody to do your marketing if you can't keep it up. How many times do you see, or how many times do you do it yourself? Because we're all guilty of it. You do a bunch of marketing and everything's going through the roof. And because you're so busy, you stop doing the marketing. And then what happens? Whoop, you come right down that scale. And then you got a 6-week lead time again to perpetuate that marketing going again. So you get that you get a downtime. And, now all these times in the last couple of years, there's a lot of guys out there that can tell you, like, there's been no off the gas. I mean, people have had work in abundance because of the situation. And, people say, well, it's because people were at home and they were tired of looking at their dirty houses. I'm not so certain that clean is changed. I think that clean now, because we know we've got viruses, flu, cold, I think people are realizing they just got to be clean. I mean, things need to be cleaner. I mean, you don't walk into, well, I have it here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've walked into other places in other parts of the country. It's dirty. But here in Phoenix, man, everything's clean. Everybody's cleaning. You used to walk into a restaurant and you'd like, I don't know if I want to eat here, And now those places are closed. They're not open anymore. And you walk into a place now and you'll see 3 or 4 employees. And what are they doing? Nothing but cleaning. They're just wiping things down and cleaning constantly. Sometimes they're overdoing it because I don't know if you experience this, but you go in and you like touch the table and they've used so much sanitizer on it. It's full of sanitizer. But
you can just rub your hands on the table to clean it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just wipe them on the table and you're all sanitized. No, but I think it's changed. I really do. I think it's changed. This is a question, and this is a pretty simple one. I'll answer this one. Yes, he's the roof tech guy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Ryan Cash.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't have. Here's my. We didn't have our thing up there. There you go. So I'm the product manager for the roof tech exterior cleaning machine.
Hey, look at this, guys. I go to put Ryan's name up, and look what happens. Oh, mine says Ron Musgrave. Maybe I can get yours up this time. Nope. Look, it changed to Ryan Cash.
Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that. I may have to unload this entire program from this thing and reboot it up. I actually is only doing it for you because I actually had somebody on the other day and I was able to put their name up. So it's just you, Ryan. You broke the dang thing.
I guess so.
But hey, I'm excited for next week, man. It's a week away. You always get this pre-excitement. I don't know what you thought. Like, what did you think the first day when you saw all those people coming at us? I mean, what did you think? You thought awesome?
Yeah, the painting. Awesome? I thought it was awesome. I thought I really wasn't quite sure what to expect because I've been to a few large trade shows, where you've got the 100-something vendors and thousands of people coming in and asking you a million questions. But I think there's something special about this because, one, it's not a trade show, right? It's a training event. And so I think what's awesome about it is people are coming in to learn something and not just to go and look around and, let me see what this machine is. I mean, people there's actually training going on and hands-on training. And so I thought it was just awesome. I think you said even in the Houston, there's going to be even fewer vendors at this one. And so I think there's going to be a lot more.
There might not be any vendors. We had 3 get COVID. I mean, we only were having 9. Yeah. We were only having 9 people there. So stay healthy, Ryan. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm staying away from everybody. Yeah.
It was funny. Not funny, but a lot of the people after the last event, there was a lot of people that actually did get sick at that last event, and it's just. And it's the nature of what's going on right now. I mean, people are just, I think what happened is we're basically open back up again. And let's face it, none of us have even had a sniffle for 2 years. Right, so our own immunities are like, we forgot what it was like to get sick. And I think every time somebody gets sick now, they think it's COVID, they got a little sniffles or they got a little earache, I got COVID, and it's the normal sickness. But yeah, I think it's hitting everybody harder because our immune systems aren't, they weren't being tested, So this question here, I'm not sure I understand it. Did you read it?
Yeah. So guys going around the neighborhood with roof tech. So
maybe you should explain what you do because the roof tech name, Ryan and I, if the boss is listening to this, I don't want to call the boss because I don't want to get Ryan fired. But roof tech is more than just a roof cleaning machine. It is a exterior cleaning machine. What's the actual name of this unit again? What is it?
Yeah, so the actual machine is the XCS 500. That's the exterior cleaning system. And so what that is, so we don't sell roofs. So if somebody else, there may be another roof tech company selling roofs or something. I'm not sure what that question was, but we are a manufacturing company. So we manufacture. I'm part of Legend Brands. We are. Here, I'll pull that up again. So Dry Ease, Pro Restore, Sapphire Scientific, ProChem, ChemSpec. Those are all part of our company. And we have been in the manufacturing industry for 40-something years, selling carpet cleaning machines and restoration machines, dehumidifiers, air movers, all those things that you use in that industry. And then recently, about 2 years ago, we started working on the exterior cleaning system. So there we go, that way. There we go. So what this is an exterior cleaning system. This will do soft washing and this will do pressure washing, and it will do it both with one pump. So unlike some of the other systems out there where you have your 12-volt pump and then you have your pressure washer and you have two sets of hoses and two sets of intake lines and different tanks and everything, this does everything with one. So you've got a metering valves on the front for your water, your bleach, and your surfactants, and you've got a pressure regulator. And so you can turn down the pressure and turn up the chems to do roofs and siding, or you can turn down the chems and turn up the pressure to do concrete. And it all does it with one hose, one pump, and all through, the hose is all Teflon and high pressure rated. And so that's what's unique about it, is it's an exterior cleaning system. It does everything. Anything on the exterior of a home you can clean. Set it to low pressure for roofs and siding, set it to 1,000 PSI, do some wood, set it to 2,500 PSI, and do concrete. And all about 5 gallons a minute.
That's awesome. I actually, guys, got to test this machine out. It was pretty cool. We actually wound up testing this machine, and I was able to go from surface cleaning to immediately picking it up and going straight to soft washing. And with what, just a flip of a button, what did it take? About 30 seconds?
Yeah, probably less than that. I think we were talking a lot and it still only took 30 seconds. I think you could probably do it in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. And it's pretty neat. And I guess we need to explain this because, like, a lot of guys saw this thing, right? Like some of these guys at other conventions that we kind of will name names. Oh, look at this. We got a spammer in here. I wonder how I get rid of them. Wow, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. Holy cow!
I guess you're getting to be too popular. Everyone's
I got a spammer. Well, maybe they'll spam us all over the place, and we'll get like 25 or 30 more viewers. Maybe, I don't know. I wonder how I stop that. Wait a second. Let's see. Okay, I can stop. Well, I can stop all the posts. Well, let's see if they let up online strips without clothing. Wow, man, that's a bad spammer too. Well, hey, explain to them what this machine is, and let me see if I can get rid of this spammer.
Yeah, so I think Justin asked how much it is. Justin, if you want to just shoot, it looks like you're on Facebook. If you shoot me a message on Facebook, I can talk to you about pricing and all that. So the machine, it's got a General Pump. It's a 5.5 gallon a minute pump from General Pump. It's a TS2212 pump. It's all stainless steel ceramic heads, and we actually worked with their engineers at General Pump and did some alt specs on it also, just to make it work even better for us. Made everything 316 stainless steel. So it holds up really well to the bleach. We put 500 hours of straight SH through it, 12.5% SH, and after 500 hours, it wasn't even touching it. So it's got this really awesome pump. It's got a 14 horsepower Kohler engine. And it's got a mixing manifold on the front. So you've got kind of in the picture, you can see it. It's a little hard to see. That picture's small, but it's got 2 valves, one for water, one for bleach. So you can go from 0% SH all the way. If you wanted to, you could draw straight 12% SH through if you wanted to, but not that you would. But you can mix that, and then there's actually a float valve on it to mix your surfactants. And so rather than we talk about this kind of at the training too. Most guys, I think everyone I've talked to, the way you kind of figure out how much surfactant you're using is you spray it on the ground in front of the truck, and when the foam comes out. If it's foamy enough, it's awesome. If it's not enough foam, you turn it up, and if it's too much, you turn it down. With this, it actually has a really precise 10-gallon-an-hour metering valve on it. So it's got a float. You just spin it up to exactly what you like. Usually run 2 to 4 gallons an hour, and then you're set. And you know that every time you're getting the same flow, you're getting the same surfactant. And so once you've got your flow rate, you just set it, and then you're done. And you don't have to worry about imprecise measurements and using way too much soaps and way too much chems. And so,
I was able to get rid of that spammer. It was pretty
awesome. There you go.
It was pretty easy. Hey guys, I just threw up another link. You can register for the event free directly at that link right there, guys. Just want to kind of tell you guys a little bit about it. I'm gonna take out the Roof Tech machine, and we'll kind of run down the agenda. I'm gonna forget some people because one, there's 15 stations at this event. We didn't think it would be that big, running simultaneously. There's only 5 opportunities. So you're only going to get to see 1/3 of the show if you come and you're diligent and go to each station. So that's the only complaint lots of people are going to have. They're going to be like, I can't see everything. What do I do? Well, the reason we did this is so you have options. If soft washing's your gig, go see Ryan's station. Go see Gerald Vesta's station. These guys are going to be soft washing. Well, Ryan can show you soft washing and pressure washing. He's the only station that can do that because he's got a machine that does both. And I know guys are going to go, well, we have machines that do both. No, you don't. You have 2 machines that do both, and they're mounted in your vehicle. This is one machine, one pump, one power plant, and it does both. And if I haven't hit that home enough, I need you guys to know that because I've had other gurus out there going, Ron doesn't know what he's talking about. We built these machines a long time ago. We've got the combination this and that. Well, that's right. It's a combination of this pump and that pump, which one's a soft wash dedicated pump and another one's a pressure washing pump. This is one pump, one motor doing soft washing and pressure washing, upstreaming the chemicals, and you can downstream too. You can do whatever you want to do. That's your choice. It's set up though to upstream the chemicals with a proportioning system, right? I mean, that's what it's set up as. And that's the logical way to do it because we all know if you downstream, you can't really control the mix. That's the whole issue with people that want a dedicated pump. They want to be able to control the mix a little bit better and come with stronger solutions. Now, that's a whole nother story. As we know more now, if we could talk to the guys that are actual chemists, they've proven it in a lab that sometimes more bleach is not better because the oxygen can't get to the molecule in order to activate the bleach, and therefore the bleach doesn't work as well. And that's why some guys out there will sit there and go, well, I've been downstreaming. What do you think the percentage of the industry that downstreams is? Is it 90%? 90?
It's got to be something that high. Yeah, it's got
85. High?
Yeah, I think so.
Most of the industry is downstreaming. They always have. Am I telling you that downstreaming is the way to go? Up until this machine what came onto the market, I would have told you just to buy a pressure washer and downstream because you need a pressure washer. I know no one in this industry, no one that is just a soft washer and is ultra successful because you have to have the ability to pressure wash because pressure washing is needed. It's not something that you're going to come up with all the time, but you're not going to be able to. There's some surfaces and substrates that you cannot get clean without pressure. That's it. That's just all there is to it. And there'll be guys out there. No, we can spray bleach on anything and clean it. Bleach doesn't clean anything, guys. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, bleach is a disinfectant.
A lot of guys out there think that all bleach does is take the pigment out of that mold and mildew and kill it. That's what it does. And it gives you an appearance sometimes that's clean. Sometimes I don't even believe in soft washing, not saying that soft washing is bad. I've been soft washing for 37 years myself, but soft washing sometimes is not as clean as you can always get it. It just isn't. And that's just a fact. It can't even be challenged. But there's nothing wrong with soft washing a substrate because it's gonna look nice. I mean, we've all seen the before and afters of a moldy, nasty, mildewed house. And to think you were going to pressure wash that, the time it would take. I mean, have you ever tried to pressure wash something versus soft washing? Like it's a 2-day project versus a 1-hour project. Like,
yeah. When I first started, I cleaned sidings with a pressure washer and with the I think you call it a banana pole. Isn't that what you call it?
You were blowing siding off the side of a house.
Oh yeah, no, I've done it all. Any way you can imagine of cleaning a house, I've done it. I've done an entire house with a bucket and a brush, and I've done those all before. And like you said, I think there are different ways, and different substrates need different ways to clean. Just like you wouldn't clean carpet the same way you clean tile. So different things need different applications and different uses. And so that's what I love about this machine that we're selling, and that our engineers kind of came up with is you can, if you want to turn it down and do wood, you can run 1200 psi, you can run 1000 psi, and you can do wood cleaning and not blow out the fibers. Or you can turn it down to 100 or 500 psi and do shingles. Or like you said, with concrete, you certainly can't only soft wash concrete. You can kill organics on concrete, and you can use degreasers to pull chems out, but you need pressure to actually make it look nice and actually remove the dirt and the grime on it. And so, yeah, I think this machine that we've got is awesome for all of it.
All right, Ryan, think of your next tip. I'm going to give another sales tip.
Okay.
I'm going to give a sales tip. This is a sales tip. Some guys might not think this is a sales tip, but this is a sales tip. This is the number one mistake people make. And no, it's not following up. People think that not following up is the number one mistake salespeople make. That is the second mistake that salespeople make by not following up. The number one thing is guys call me. And I don't want this call. If I'm coaching you, do not call me and ask me this question. They say, Ron, I gave them the proposal, and when should I follow up with them? Why would you be asking me when you should follow up with somebody that you gave them the proposal? Why did you not ask them when you should follow up? Man, can you imagine the information you're going to get out of that question? When should I follow up with you, Ryan? Go ahead, Ryan. You could tell me, don't call me, I'll call you. What would that, if you said that to me, what would that tell me?
Yeah.
You're not interested, right? I
mean,
don't call me, I'll call you. Right. But if you said, hey, we're making these decisions on February 18th, that's when we're going to be making them. I would say, okay, I looked at my calendar. I'll call and check in with you on the 15th. If there's any other questions you have about the bid, I can answer them then. And they, oh, thank you. Give me a call on the 15th. Now, that's the number one mistake. Now, the next one is that you don't make that call on the 15th. They won't make the call on the 15th. That's the number two. That's the biggest. That's the second mistake all salespeople make. So we told you guys, in all my videos now, I'm always going to give sales tips out. We gave one at the beginning. So if you missed this, go listen to it at the very beginning of it, because I'm going to tell you right now, I even surprised Ryan with it. There's a little secret to it, but you have to go listen to the beginning of the video. What do you think of that tip? Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was a good tip, and I'll actually add on to the tip you just gave too. I think so. This is something I learned. I lived in Texas for 1.5 years, and I sold life insurance, believe it or not, for a little bit while I was doing cleaning and other things. One of the things I learned too is you don't necessarily even have to ask them, "Hey, when should I call you back?" But it's almost more effective to tell them when you're going to call them back. And so when I'm talking to a customer, I say, "Hey, like you said, we're doing these proposals. I've got this. Here's the price." Instead of saying, "Hey, when should I call you back to talk about it?" You can say,
"Don't call me back. I'm not interested."
Yeah,
what would you say there?
All right, no worries. Easy.
No. I still make the appointment. I say, "Okay, I'll call you back then on the 16th." And they always look at you with that face, like, "Didn't I just tell you I'm not interested?" And then they kind of start. Then if they get a smile or something, it's an icebreaker. Then they're like, "Okay, you're going to be persistent with me." But no, you're right. Telling them what you're going to do. You know what? You're absolutely correct. In sales, and we'll go a little step further, because here's where your professional sales with the big company come in. Don't ever lead into a question. Don't ask a question that's going to lead into a negative response,
or open-ended response.
Correct. That's right. And that's why it's funny, because when you said that, I can't tell you how many times people have told me, I'm not interested. Don't call me. And I'll say, okay, I'll give you a shout on the 10th, and we'll talk some more about it. And they're like, did you not hear what I said? yeah, I heard you said you're not interested, but I'm going to call you on the 10th anyway.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like,
yeah, what I like to do is, and I think this is really effective too for sales, is you say, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to call you on the 10th, you say, hey, I'm going to be making calls on the 10th and the 11th. Which day works better for me to call you? And then rather than, hey, can I call you or not, it's saying, hey, I've got two options. Which one works better for you? And then they give you which one works better for them. You call them that day. And that's kind of the choice without a choice, right? Because at that, what you're doing is you're telling them I'm already going to be calling you. So which day would you rather me call?
Absolutely. And then Justin Hampton giving Market a plug, Julie over at Markate, and it's a good program, guys. It really is. So he's saying they got a reminder in there to give them a call and stuff like that. I always like to ask when they would like me to call them back. And this is a commercial client. I can see a residential client. You need to keep up with that. Like you need to call them back the next day. Hey, did your husband say it was okay to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Because normally that's the objection you get. Well, I've got to check with my husband, and the husband ain't making no decisions, man. I mean, they got to learn that right away. The wife is making that decision, guys. We don't care. The only thing we care about is that we don't have to do it, and we could go golfing on Saturday or do something we want to do rather than wash the house. Okay, I'm sorry. That's my attitude with it, and I want to tell these other guys this: clean that thing as fast as you can, because Gerald Vest is right. I don't want you at my house. Yeah. If I agree to pay you $1,000 and you get it done in an hour, I'm happy.
Yeah, well, I think that's too. As long as you're doing a good job, right? As long as the results speak for the price.
Yeah, I don't want that. You know what? One time I was younger and I was dumb, and I hired a plumber to install a toilet, and the guy took 2 days. Okay, and he still couldn't get the flanges and that stuff right. The toilet was all wobbly. I called another plumber, paid $350. He was in and out in like 4 minutes. It was just stupid, and the toilet works. I was like, it's just you there's that old cliche, you do get what you pay for sometimes. And I do not want somebody that I've hired at my house. Like, I don't want to hear that weed eater outside. I want my landscaping guy to be fast. I don't want to hear that. Have him stall by my bedroom window going, I'm out here, man. I'm earning my money. I'm going to be here for another, hour. No, get in and out. My guy, he charges me like, I think $40. And sometimes my neighbor goes, man, he was only here. I counted it for 12 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's great. 12 minutes. Yeah. Super. How's my yard look? Great.
Yeah. I think the issue is a lot of us have this mindset of thinking of everything in dollars an hour, right? I pay a doctor or a nurse, nurse makes $50 an hour. Doctor makes $100 an hour. A lawyer makes this much. Someone who works at McDonald's makes this much. And I think what we have to understand is, in this industry, we've got to get out of that mindset. We have to get out of the dollars an hour, and what you're selling is results. You're not selling time. And so when you're talking to a customer, it doesn't matter how long you take, because there's a million factors that go into your price. You got to think about your overhead, your employees. You got to think about your insurance, your time and equipment. All the things that went into this equate more than just time per hour or dollars per hour. And so when you do your sales pitch, when you talk to people, I think whether it's commercial or residential, the discussion has to be about results. And what you say is, hey, these are the results you're going to get, and this is how I'm going to do it. You might talk about your process or whatever, but the customer's paying for the results, not for your time. And so that's how you can get these high dollar an hour jobs, is you got to get out of that mindset of charging by the hour.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think we're on. Cut out of there.
I'm putting this in the middle. Hey guys, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the schedule really quick. We've got Gerald Vest, first of all, doing a free module. He's going to work with air diaphragm pumps. He's going to show you the little King Slinger that he actually invented and made. He's going to be doing some technical training with that at one station. We got Francisco Lopez, man. He's going to tell you about how getting involved with your community changed his business, and it also changed his personal life. What a great story he's going to have with his family. Darren White's going to be showing you guys how to do commercial demos. That's all Darren's going to be showing you, how to pull off commercial demos. Dave Vaughn is coming from F9, man. Mr. Chris Martinez is going to knock this thing out of the park. Chris Martinez one, I'm a fan of Chris Martinez. And the reason I'm a fan of Chris Martinez is that he really understands how to build the relationships with the customers and how to get a high ticket. He's a high ticket guy, and he's going to show you guys how you can increase your high ticket. Caleb Roth, man, Caleb's been in the wood industry for a long time, but he's come along now as a YouTube, Facebook sensation as far as wood restoration. He owns the Stain and Sealing Expert, and he's in Nashville. He's also having his own event on the February 24th, 25th, and 26th. He has about 400 people at this event. It's a grand event. So I highly recommend that you guys get to his page, get registered for that event. I'll be there on the 26th. I'm going to be doing some more commercial sales there as well as in Houston also. And then, guys, we got Andrew Thompson. He's either going to be coming and talk about the ViperTech, but he's also going to do a marketing and basically he does a social media presence presentation. He's going to show you guys how to use that stuff. Marco is doing a paid LinkedIn class. Marco and Gerald Vest right now are only 2 paid instructors, and those are at the end of the show. The entire rest of the show is free, guys, but there are some paid modules. You got to hurry up, though. Gerald Vest's is filling up. We only have spots for about 100 people in his, and last I talked, it was filling up. So if you guys got to go there and get registered for his. It also is online, and he is doing it in person, as well as Marco's doing his online and in person. Mindy's going to be helping Heath Phelps. They're going to be at a station where they're going to be playing with the equipment the entire time. So if you go to their station, they're going to show you 3 different types of roof pumps. They're going to show you some pressure washers. They're going to show you the budget build. They're going to show you the expensive build. You're going to walk with those side by side. We've already seen that there is a difference in performance. So if you go with a budget build, you know what? You're going to have performance issues potentially. And I'll tell you what, performance issues, as we were talking about earlier with production, can cost you. If you're running 30% less than something that is a professional piece of equipment, man, you want to talk about the thousands of dollars that you're losing over even a month. A month can cost you thousands of dollars. And then Xavier Hernandez, guys, man, 22 years OSHA industrial guy that was actually worked in OSHA, going to come and bring a fall protection class. It's going to be awesome. Leilani Chostner, she's going to be talking F9. She's going to be doing a PowerPoint on the science of hard restoration. We got Rodney, man. Rodney's coming out. Rodney, I can't say enough about Rodney. Rodney's been out to the events, man, for about 6 years now. This time he's coming, going to do a full walk around his massive unit, and they're going to be doing some instant capture recovery. A woman named Kendra Tillery is also going to be putting on an environmental presentation along with Jerry McMillan. Jerry McMillan is going to be doing actually the environmental certification program, as well as he's going to actually talk about pump rebuilding. We're going to actually videotape that. That's actually going to be live. A lot of these presentations, especially all the classroom stuff, will all be live. Go to National Cleaning Expo. There's a link there that you can sign up to watch live, and then you'll be emailed that link prior to the show, and then you can just tune in at the time of the show, follow the agenda, and you'll be able to follow the presenters because the agenda's there right there too. A lot of guys go, when's this happening? When's that happening? Well, there's an actual time schedule. And Ryan, did we stick to the time schedule for the most part?
I think for the most part, it seemed like you had your air horn and you were blasting out and telling everyone when to stop and go.
Did you hear it?
I did, yeah.
Did you ignore it?
Sometimes, depending on how good the conversation was and what people were asking me. But I think there was a 15-minute break between each group, so that kind of gave a little leeway.
Some there was 30, and that's what threw some people off because people were staying there, and then they would start, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, I just started. He's ending it." No, I'm starting it. You just didn't start on time. But see, I think we've got some professionals out there now. Now everybody knows. Joe was like, yeah, at the end of the show, he's like, okay, I got at the last module, he's like, I finally figured out what that air horn was for. We were supposed to start and stop. I was like, yeah, man, that's what you're supposed to do. He's like, I just kept teaching. Joe he was all day long. He never stopped talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, no, man, you had a 30-minute break just that last module. You could have went and got some lunch. You could have went and did something, And on the first day, guys, we're motivating guys to eat at the hotel. on the first day, we need to sell 30 breakfasts and 30 lunches in order for the hotel restaurant, because of all the COVID protocol, they're going to stay open. And it's not because there's a problem with COVID, it's that they don't have staffing. And because of the short on staffing, they're moving people from other places to make things work, to help us out. But obviously, in order to do that, we have to actually meet a certain requirement in the kitchen in order for them to keep that open. And we want to keep it open because we don't want to have people that really want to go to lunch really quickly have to go off property. But remember, there's no problem, guys. Use any of the food apps if you guys want food delivered to the event. Use those if you guys want to order some food and eat right there. There's not an issue with that. We don't have anything, because there's no lunch being provided or anything like that anyway. So you're basically all on your own for any type of food and beverage. Something that is cool that's going to happen is at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I don't know what it is, on each day, they're going to bring in a open beverage. I won't call it bar, but it's a beverage cart, and you'll be able to buy some adult beverages and some kid beverages off of that. So we're going to have a good time with that as well. And that's going to be actually at the event. I normally at these events, I didn't at the last one because they had a real strict, can't bring any food. I normally bring boxes of snacks. I hope some of the vendors are listening. If you bring boxes of snacks, people will come over and visit you because they will go ahead and get a little granola bar or something like that. It's always a good thing to have because you know what? When people start getting hungry, they get hangry, right? And then, they're not happy. So we want people to eat and stay. Oh my gosh, Love Face came back with a different.
Yeah, I've seen it pop up a couple times.
We're going to have to get rid of her. But hey, hopefully, guys, we're going to have a great time. You wrap it up, Ryan. Tell them I'm closing, guys. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute. I'm out. You close it out, Ryan. Take it.
Yeah, I would just remind everybody the free training event. It's next week, the 9th, 10th, 11th. It's going to be awesome. We hope you guys can be there. It's in Houston. You can check it out, nationalcleaningexpo.com. If you have any questions about the roof tech system, give me you can either call me directly at 360-826-2184. You can shoot me an email at info@rooftechsystems.net. Check our website. Find me on Facebook. And if you have any questions, my job is to talk about our machine. So feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to help however I can. Hope you all have a good day.